Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here doing a super late Loot Crate review. As I said in my last video, it's been a minute since I've done my reviews and, I've been moving and doing this and that. So if you happen to check this out before the last one, that's all there is to it. Also, the last crate, didn't like it. Like I legitimately just did it. I just finished that video, and so I just want to make sure I kind of go through and catch up on all things Loot Crate. That was a terrible toss. Like I literally tossed my glasses onto like one of my game cases and it just slid off the game case and fell on the floor. Yeah, the last one though, with all the school stuff and the X-Men shirt. The X-Men shirt was cool. Everything else I was like, I don't care about any of this. This is dumb. So I'm hoping, whatever thing this is, and hopefully we can find out if they actually put the book in here, because I didn't get one of the little sleeves in my last crate where it says like, here's the theme of the month and here, talking about the items and stuff like that. I didn't get that. So I have no idea what the theme is for the last one. So same with this. Hopefully we get that and I'll actually know by the time I get to the bottom of this box. Okay, step one feels a bit more normal. The last crate had the shirt inside of a plastic bag. This one does not. So it seems like it's getting a bit back to normal, even though that was only one crate. Okay, it just felt super huge, but cool. It's a Deadpool shirt. I like Deadpool. I like the style of this. It's crazy. It's Deadpool. I actually like that. That's actually a really cool idea. And it's, underneath it says dead. And then of course, oh, I didn't even know he was talking. It says, oh, hi, I didn't see you there. So of course it has dead just in normal text. And then he went over it with chalk. So that's pretty cool. I do like that. I think this is actually a really cool shirt. Of course, if you're a big Deadpool fan, which everyone is now, especially if you go to conventions. But it's a cool shirt in general. I think that's a good item. Moving on, I think we got an apron or a bag. It's a bag. Interesting choice. It's a cool bag. I will say that. I love the franchise. But it is Night of the Living Dead. That is super weird to me. I would assume, based on Deadpool and Night of the Living Dead, the theme is probably just dead. Maybe. We'll see. We'll definitely see. That's very interesting. It's a tote bag of Night of the Living Dead. That's very odd. I do like it though. I like Night of the Living Dead. I really enjoy it. It's also a tiny, itty bitty tote bag. It's like the tiniest little tote bag I've ever seen. Like it's tiny. It's just tiny. Also, it's not. I feel like I prefer tote bags to have like the flat bottom. Just because it's a tote bag, I feel like it makes it better to actually put stuff in because you can like sit it straight down. I don't personally mind. I'm not gonna use this either way, admittedly, because it's, like I said, it's such a tiny bag. That's the unfortunate thing. Like, oh yeah, it looks cool, but I'm just never gonna use it. This is the type of bag where it's like, if I was taking a bunch of comic books, somewhere, I would put them in this because it's like the right size and width. But that's really it. Like, I would never really carry anything in this because it's so small. But it still looks cool. It's just like one of those like in between items. Like, I really think it's cool, but I'm like never gonna use that, which is unfortunate. Moving on to our next item, we have an adult collectible, not a toy. Typically, those are things I enjoy. It's from, oh, I don't think I'm gonna enjoy it. Well, we'll see. Dracula pencil sharpener. I assume it's gonna look super cool. So, it has to, because it says it's a collectible, not a toy. Alright, it looks alright. It looks okay. Pop him out of here. Okay, it even comes with a little, it comes with a wooden stake pencil. That's cute. Pop the bottom back on. And, oh, yeah, that's nice. Alright, it's cool. It's cool. It's Dracula in a coffin, and of course you put the pencil in, and it's a stake through the heart. And it actually does come with the top of the coffin, which is a cool idea. And it can just be like, it would make people wonder what's in it, that's for sure. And I do, it doesn't actually slide. It snaps into place, I believe. Yeah, I actually like that. It's cool that it like snaps into place and won't shake off or anything. So it's like, if anyone randomly comes across it and you just have a thing standing up, because I think standing up is the best way to have this. It's like, what's in the casket? And, of course you can just have people look. Just pop it right off. There it is. Super easy. Super easy. You pop it right off and then it's like, oh, it's a pencil sharpener. And you get your little wooden stake. And that's not bad. That's not too shabby. If you're artsy, I think it has much greater value. My art actually typically doesn't involve pencil. If I do art, at all, it'll be like charcoal drawing, which is kind of hard to do with carpet. I have to have a lot of like plastic down and stuff like that. But this is cool. That's a cool idea. We've gotten pencil sharpeners before, so in the grand scheme of things, it's almost sad that I can say at least it's not that stupid X-Files pencil sharpener that we got, when we literally got a pencil sharpener and 4 pencils that just had quotes from the X-Files series on it, which is like one of the stupidest things we've ever gotten. At least I can say this is kind of cool. It's still a pencil sharpener. It's still just a simple little Dracula deal. I feel like I'm gonna break this because it doesn't just pop off super easy, which makes sense because otherwise it would just be falling off. Could have been magnets. That would have been a good way to do it, but that would also be more money than just having a tiny little mold clip of plastic. But I like it. It's cool. His face looks a little weird to me. I feel like it's almost supposed to be a specific Dracula. But I don't know. I mean, it's Dracula. It's so famous, but there's so many versions of Dracula. It's almost like they're kind of going for one of the famous actors, but it's just not there yet. It's one of those things where it's like technically they can't do it because of copyright reasons, but it's like it's right there. It's just a little close. Like I feel like I'm getting vibes of somebody, but it's not there just yet. Not 100%. So this will probably go. This is probably going on one of the new bookshelves that I'm gonna set up. But I think it looks cool. I like the weird, ominous aesthetic of it. So it's cool. And then we have the pin for the month, which is Nosferatu, which is pretty cool. So we got Dracula, we got Deadpool. Now, aside from Deadpool, these are classics. So, that's very interesting. My favorite thing about this is that they actually have the body as a part of the little cardboard piece that holds the pen. So this will be one of the few times I might actually leave the pen inside the case, because normally, like most people, even if I don't wear the pins, which I never actually do, I normally take them off so that the cardboard isn't just taking up random extra space. But this is like the one time I might leave this because that's actually just extra cool. I think that's pretty cool, and I love the way that they have it where he's like in shadow. I think that's a pretty cool element of the pin as well. So that's actually pretty sweet. I like that. And then I think we have one more little thing. And we actually have The Lost Boys. And it has a fun fact on here. The town of Santa Carla isn't real. The movie was actually filmed in and around Santa Cruz, California. The town's iconic beach boardwalk provided the backdrop for several scenes. Extra fun fact, for those of you who may have seen the movie Us by Jordan Peele, that was a reference. When they do like the opening of the movie, they're like, oh hey, they're filming a movie over there. They were actually referencing The Lost Boys because the beginning of Us takes place in the 80s, and they were talking about how they were filming this movie at that specific carnival or spot, or the beach, theme park. That's what I was like, what the heck am I trying to say? But yeah, so there's that. Sorry to bother you. And then poof, Lost Boys fun fact, plus my own little personal fun fact. And that is all we have for this month's crate. Once again, we don't have the thing that says exactly what the theme is or talking about the other items or anything. It just has the thanks for being a looter thing with the QR code, which I believe is just the same info you can get if you just log on and you click the little thing like your looter rewards or whatever, where it's like it's a comic this month or some random thing. I think it's the same thing. I could be wrong. I never actually even bothered to check those QR codes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the that's actually pretty cool. The inside of the box, it is a vampire hunting kit. So of course you have garlic, steak. I would assume holy water's in there somewhere. A mega sun, that 100,000 lumen. What the heck am I trying to do? All I can think of is the British term. I'm thinking torch, flashlight. There it is. Wow, I watch too much British television because I'm like, all I can think is, I was thinking light bulb, and then I was like, all I can think is light bulb and torch, and I'm like, what the F am I trying to say? Flashlight. Too much British TV. Never too much. But yeah, that's the inside. That's kind of cool. I like it. It's decent. This crate, I will say, sorry about that. I will say that I do like a whole lot more than the last one. I like the t-shirt because I do like Deadpool. Even though I will never use the tote, that's one of the things with Lootcrate in general. I rarely ever use most of the items. What I would have loved out of this would have been a figure. Considering they're doing like classic movies, even though I've never seen Nosferatu, it's one of those things like, I just like classic horror. Like, horror is my favorite genre, so even if I've never seen it, I tend to have like a good appreciation for it. I've seen Night of the Living Dead. But I would have loved if somehow they had a figure. The closest thing we have is actually the pencil sharpener as far as like a figure. So this does come close because it's a cool, had it backwards. it is a cool thing. I really feel like that only has so many times you can pull it off before it's broken, but I do like that one. I just realized I know exactly who this reminds me of. It's not a person. It's the dummy from Goosebumps, Night of the Living Dummy. That's what it is. And I think it's because his mouth is open, like he's bleeding from the mouth. I think that's why it makes me think that. I think of the dummy from Night of the Living Dummy. That dummy does have a name in Goosebumps, but that's what he reminds me of. That's the face. That's the face. But yeah, this I would say is the closest item we have to a figure. And it does say it's a collectible, not a toy. So they knew what they were doing. They were kind of making it like, oh, well, we could make it a figure. Because it could have literally just been you put the little thing on top of the coffin and then there's Dracula in it. But they did make it something else. Because what else could you do with this figure? Unless they made it where it like lit up, the blood lit up and it took like a battery, which would be super cool if that was the case. And like if the whole thing lit up. If you opened it and there was just like blood all the way down, or just only the red parts, because of course Dracula and it's black, white, and red are like the three colors of Dracula. That would have been super cool as an item. And any red parts, the whole thing was backlit or something like that. That would have been like insanely cool. I would never expect that. I can't even think of an item that we've ever actually gotten that is battery based. For Lootcrate. I'm sure that it's happened and I just can't remember, but I feel like that's something they would stray away from because they know it would be like, all right, well, either you include the batteries, or if you don't, then people will complain about that. But also, why not just make a figure? It's cheaper for you, and then it's cheaper for everyone who gets it after the fact. And plus, you never really know who will or won't like something. So it's one of those, it's a real tough situation. So why not just save money? But this is the closest we have to a figure, but I would have liked an official figure. It's almost hard to do it, oddly enough, as classic as the films are. I think, unless it was Nosferatu or, Dracula, you couldn't really do Night of the Living Dead. Because even if it was one of the people, it would be hard for most people to be like, oh, that's this specific character from Night of the Living Dead. The only person I remember, admittedly, is, like, the last person that's left in the film. So, that's just one of the things. And it's been a minute since I've seen the movie anyway. So it's one of those things where it's like, I think really only that one actor, like the person who's at the end of the movie, is like the most famous person out of all the actors and actresses in that actual film. So it would be hard to go with that. Like you'd have to kind of just use a random image. So I totally understand that. Like I said, the tote bag thing, it's slightly unfortunate because it's just like, meh, like they can only do so much with the space, and it's just like, I mean, technically, you could fold up a tote bag. I mean, you can fold up a shirt, you can fold up a tote bag. It could have been bigger, but it's just all right. It's all right. Like I said, this shirt, I would still say is definitely my favorite thing for this crate, but I at least like this one a lot more than I like the last one. I think the items are just cooler, and once again, that's kind of just how it goes. It's like, franchise-wise, that's kind of the main, gain or loss when it comes to Loot Crate. If you like the franchises, you'll tend to like the crate a lot more than if you don't, because every item could be epic, and there's like, I just don't like, or I just straight up hate every single one of these franchises, and then the crates just suck. It just sucks for you. So this one, considering how much I love horror stuff, even though the items are still very, very simple and they're not like crazy in any way, shape, or form. I can't even say the shirt's crazy. It's a shirt, but it's a shirt, a tote bag, and then this. So we technically have 4 items. This item sucks, or like plain and simple. Even if I like Lost Boys, which I've never seen Lost Boys, that's one of my things I should watch. Even if I love Lost Boys, be like, whatever. We've gotten tons of mini posters where I'm like, all right, aside from like the Evil Dead 2 one, because I'm like obsessed with the Evil Dead franchise. Aside from that, I don't care when we get those like mini posters, because I'm like, I don't know, they're just so tiny and it feels weird, and I feel like there's nowhere to really put it. It feels like it's just too small to be a stand-up piece. That's my personal opinion. I'm sure a ton of people just have them all lined up and it looks amazing. And then for me, it's just like, I only like the Evil Dead one. Like we've got like the Escape from New York and Escape from LA ones before and stuff like that. I believe they did one for the Thing as well. But it's just one of those things where I was like, I just don't like them that much. But decent crate. Only because I like the franchises. So that's definitely one of the things. I could totally see people straight up hating this one. I think most people enjoy the shirt. People will get like a slight kick out of this because it's kind of a cool novelty way to dress up a pencil sharpener. So it is cool. But other than that, a small tote bag. Some people use tote bags. I've never been a tote person myself. So for some people, they might actually get a use out of that. But once again, even for people that use them, I feel like that's so small, you wouldn't get nearly as much use as you would out of a slightly bigger one. Like, this is one of the ones you can't even put over your arm. Like, I mean, you technically could, and it'll just be like in your armpit. So you probably won't do that. But odds are you're just holding this one straight up. So I think for most people, this won't get a ton of use. It'll just be a cool, like, hey, I have a Night of the Living Dead tote bag. It's like one of the things you take specifically to conventions, because it's like, hey, I have this thing that fits in this specific area. And the only thing, typically when you go to conventions, the only thing you're going to take is like a bag so you can put random pamphlets in and cards and stuff and hold a little bit of water and maybe a charger and little stuff like that. So in those specific cases, I could see this working for sure. Like, it would totally work at like the horror conventions. I know we have one in Michigan. I just totally drawing a blank on the name. But I feel like that's kind of where that fits in more often than not. But still, I enjoyed the crate for this month compared to the last one I got, where I pretty much only like the X-Men shirt. So I'm fairly satisfied with this. Like I said, I could totally see why people might hate it if you aren't a big horror fan. I still think it's dead, even though Nosferatu isn't. That was like Deadpool, Night of the Living Dead. It obviously can't be. Well, they totally can't say Universal Monster. They definitely can't say that. I don't think Nosferatu is Universal anyway. Even now, I don't think they own the rights to that. So I don't know. It's funny trying to guess, because I was like, all right, I thought it might be dead because it was Deadpool and then Night of the Living Dead, but they didn't throw like Walking Dead in there and stuff. But it still could be undead, potentially. I don't know. I forgot what Nosferatu is technically supposed to be, but I can see that. Deadpool is definitely an undead character. You have Night of the Living Dead, of course, zombies. Obviously, Dracula, vampire, just sexy zombies. Lost Boys, vampires. And then Nosferatu, pretty much a vampire as well. So it's probably undead. Something like that. That might be the thing. I don't know why I'm trying to guess like you guys care. Like, I even care. It doesn't matter. I'll forget anyway. But either way, decent crate. Of course, I would love to know what you guys thought about it. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know your favorite items, least favorite items, how you guys would have rotated things around. What would you have made the pencil sharpener? I think a Deadpool pencil sharpener could have been really funny, because they could have had something like... especially, it would be like a huge meta thing. They would have to really do this if they rotated it around and they knew that they were going to put Deadpool in with the Dracula thing, and then they still made it a coffin, but it was Deadpool inside, and they could have had something like inside the thing where he's like, yeah, I don't know why I'm in here and not Dracula. That would have been hilarious, but that would require like a bit of extra work. Even though I don't know if that shirt is actually exclusive, so let me check. But that would have been a cool thing that they could have done. So let's see. Odds are it's exclusive. Most their shirts typically are always exclusive. Yeah, Lootwear original. So that makes sense. And it's possible that they made that specifically for Lootwear a while ago, and we could just be getting it now. Typically, that's not the case, but who knows? It could just be like a super old shirt that was like from the first Lootwear, the first time they ever did, and they're like, oh, we have so many of these. I highly doubt that's the case, because they would be putting that in so many crates. Currently, they'd be doing a whole production line. So I'm sure that's a newer shirt, but that would have been insanely funny. Like, if they put the work in to do that, where it was, for whatever reason, Deadpool was in there, and they referenced the fact that it was weird, Deadpool was in the coffin and not Dracula. That would have been amazing. I probably would have been like 10 out of 10 crate just for the meta of, out of the whole thing. But that's kind of a pipe dream scenario, I think. But still enjoyed it. Like I said, I want to know how you guys would rotate it. Considering I don't know the theme, but I'm theorizing it's undead. What other franchises would you guys put in here? Considering, of course, you go zombies, obviously, a lot of people say Walking Dead. Maybe not currently, because I know that people have kind of fallen off that, but that was years ago. I guess people started falling off. I would always, if I can at any point put it in there, I will always go Resident Evil for undead stuff. I'll even throw in Dead Space. Obviously, these are games, so that would be Loot Gaming. But I will always throw in any chance I get, anything representing Resident Evil or Dead Space. That's a thumbs up for me. But I enjoyed the crate, like I said. We'd love to know what you guys thought about it, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. And, of course, thanks for watching.